All right, and we're going to start this week's show with a new thing called the TOOTS Exacta, where every week now to start the show, I'm going to give you a YouTube video recommendation and a song recommendation. I'm going to do this now every week. So the TOOTS Exacta starts this week with a song called Games by Chucky Booker. Check it out. Cool slow jam. And then for the video of the week, I'm recommending The Terrys by Tim and Eric from Adult Swim. You can see their stuff on Cartoon Network. The Terrys by Tim and Eric. Check it out. It's absolutely hilarious. Best 15 minutes you're going to have. So let's get it started.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up.
All right, and welcome to another edition of Mets Update with Toots. The date is May 23rd, 2011. We are fresh off the first installment of the Subway Series, which took place at Yankee Stadium. The Mets were victorious Friday night. Great win if you were watching the game. An absolute great feel-good win as a Met fan. But then, unfortunately, dropped the next two on Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to dive right in and spend a little time on each game here. You talk about Friday night, where in the Bronx, Friday night, R.A. Dickey got the start for the Mets, and he was absolutely the Dickey of 2010. We haven't seen much of this all season so far. He's been off. He's been walking people, having trouble controlling the knuckleball. But Friday night in the Bronx, he was pretty wicked, and the Yankees didn't stand much of a chance all night. And the Mets have been playing small ball right now. I think it's finally starting to take a toll a little bit with all these guys out in the very young lineup night after night. They're really not scoring many runs, but that was a night where they gutted out a run early after going down 1-0 on a Mark Teixeira cheap home run. I mean, typical Yankee Stadium home run. But, hey, whatever, you got to hit him. You got to hit him in that ballpark. It went down early, scratched out a run to tie it, and then Danny Murphy with a huge sixth-inning solo shot for a 2-1 lead. Dickey pitched 6 great innings. Absolutely great. And then the bullpen came in. Mike O'Connor in the 7th. Mike O'Connor, of all people, was pitching very well out of the bullpen. Isringhausen in the 8th. What can you say about this guy? I mean, what a find. This guy didn't even pitch last year. And then K-Rod continues his brilliance. 9 up, 9 down in the final 3 innings. And a nice, very feel-good 2-1 Met victory. And then Saturday came, a different feel at the stadium. I was actually happened to be there. And typical Yankee-style win. I mean, they used the home run ball to their advantage. 4 home runs on the night. And won the game 7-3. Capuano obviously didn't have his best stuff. Burnett was strong late in the game. Struggled early. Mets were winning the game 2-0 early. But the home run ball was key for the Yankees. I mean, that's what the Yankees live and die on. We all know this. And they really took advantage of, their lineup and their ballpark in that game on Saturday with home runs by Teixeira, Martin, Curtis Granderson, and I forget the last one, but they did have 4 on the... Oh, A-Rod. A-Rod hit a bomb. So they had 4 home runs in that ball game. So that was a Yankee win. Then yesterday's game, the Sunday afternoon game, kind of the loss of the tougher variety. Mike Pelfrey on the mound, Ivan Nova, both were pretty sharp. Mets had a 3-1 lead late. Couldn't really advance the 3-1 lead through the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, but they had 2 men on every inning. Just couldn't advance the lead, and finally you knew something was going to happen. Bottom of the 7th, the Yankees exploded. Mike Pelfrey lost it a little bit, walked a guy, hit a guy trying to sack bunt, giving them an out. Loaded the bases for Derek Jeter, and he, of course, with his .383 lifetime average against the Mets, best all time after this weekend. The 2-run single tied the game. So, and then it's just the wheels fell off from there. A couple bad plays, errors, a couple big hits, and it was 9-3 for the final. So we are now fresh off the Subway Series. We get back to traditional National League ball, thank God, because the Mets are certainly not built to win in American League ballparks. But now they'll go see the Cubs for 3. The Cubs just dropped 2 of 3 in Boston. First time they were there since 1918, actually, when Boston beat them for the World Series. So it's going to be Mets-Cubs tomorrow. And right now, my honest assessment, I like the way the young guys have played filling in. There's no question. Turner absolutely has been great. His 5-game RBI streak was snapped yesterday. They've gotten great performances from pretty much everyone they've called up. Pridey started off swinging the bat well, hasn't hit much lately. Still playing solid defense, though. But now you could tell they've had this lineup for about a week or so now, and you could start to see that it's starting to take its toll. You know, these guys are fill-in players. They can't be everyday players just yet, at least not all of them at the same time. So hopefully the Mets can hold their own, especially in Chicago. Team's not that good. See if they can pull 2 out of 3 on the road. But they need to really tread water. That would be the key here, to tread water, try to be 500 by the time Davis and Wright come back. They're supposed to get Pagan back this week. I'll believe it when I see it, but they're saying maybe Wednesday or Thursday in Chicago, or at least in the weekend for Philadelphia. We'll see. Davis supposedly isn't running yet in Florida, so he's probably at least a week, 2 weeks away. And Wright, we don't know yet. He's getting a second opinion today. But so slowly, guys are coming back, but they're going to have to tread water until they get everyone back. And you have to be dangerous of the slippery slope. If you lose a few in a row here with a young team, gets 5, 6, 7 games under 500, you know, the wheels can start to fall off. So treading water would be the key for the Mets. So let's hit the mailbag. Well, welcome to the mailbag session of this show. I have a few questions yet, which I haven't reviewed, so these are all going to be surprises. My producer, Vito Petrozelli, has typed them out here for me, and I'm going one at a time. I haven't seen them yet. Darwin from Sea Caucus asks, when did Mike Piazza become a Met? Did they trade draft picks for him or something? No draft picks. No draft picks in those baseball trades. But no, Mike Piazza, interesting question, because the date today is May 23rd. Mike Piazza was acquired May 22nd, 1998, 13 years ago. Mike Piazza became a Met, and I'm sure most of you out there can remember it. And it was a great day in Met history, because Mike really was, you know, a big-time superstar at that time, and came here and drove the team to 1 game out of the playoffs that year, and then 2 playoff appearances, a World Series appearance in 2000. And had a nice little run here for a few years. So Mike Piazza, of course, most Mets fans my age, you ask me their favorite Met of all timers, are probably going to say Piazza. So we all can remember that one. Next, we have Greg in Astoria. Do the Mets finish with a respectable 500 season? Do you sign on for that? I'll take an answer off the air. Thanks, Toots. Well, you're going to get the answer on the air, Greg. And I hopefully say that they're going to finish 500. I think that will probably be probably the high point. If I could say right now, how good can they be? Any run at a wild card's just a little unrealistic at this point, as much as I want to say yes, but 500 is a good goal. 500 is a decent goal for this season, and I would sign for that. I would sign for that. I would sign for the 500. It's tough to say, but tough to admit, but you know what? You got to look at this realistically, and 500 would be a decent season this year for this team, without question. Now, the last question. Alexander, all the way from Cologne, Germany. Do you remember that Soul Asylum video for Runaway Train with the missing kid posters and shit? Do you remember the song that went, Just to Be Next to Be With You by Mr. Big? I never knew if the lead singer was a chick or a dude. Love the videos, by the way. Not really a Mets fan, though. Well, thanks, Alexander. I do remember, of course, the Mr. Big song. Just to be the next to be with you. Yes, of course. Very memorable. So, Alexander, thank you, and spread the Mets love around Germany. So that'll do it for this week's episode. As the Mets continue their quest to do what, I really don't know, but hang in there. And we'll see you next week.